Hi, in today's tutorial, I'm going to give a brief introduction about Ansible. Then I'm going to install and configure Ansible on CentOS 7 machine using VmWare Workstation. So what is Ansible? Ansible is a simple IT automation engine that automates cloud provisioning, configuration management, application deployment, intra-service orchestration, and many other IT needs. This will help save time. Basically, the IT automation part, since we are using Ansible to automate our tasks, this will help save time, eliminate repetitive tasks, and reduce mistakes and errors for the IT teams. Some feature of Ansible, this include that it does not need the use of agents and extra custom security infrastructure, so it's easy to deploy and basically use. You use a very simple language. You don't need to be expert in learning Python or something like this. It's YAML, and the YAML are going to be files that we are going to put, and these files are basically similar to English language, and these files are going to play as our Ansible playbooks. These playbooks are basically YAML files that has the tasks and the name of the task that we need to execute on the target servers. Ansible works by connecting to your nodes or the target servers and pushing out small programs. These programs called Ansible modules via SSH to transfer information securely via SSH, and the password are supported when using connecting to the target nodes. However, it's recommended to use SSH keys, which is, as we know, it's public and private keys with SSH agents. And however, in this tutorial, I'm going to basically go with password just for demonstration in a lab environment. The Ansible inventory file define the host and a group of hosts upon which commands, modules, and tasks in a playbook operate. And the default location for the inventory file is / etc. / Ansible / hosts. So basically, in this file host, we are going to use a file editor on our CentOS machine. Then we're going to add our hosts. We're going to create groups, and these groups are basically the host group or the target groups, including their IP addresses or the DNS record. And finally, the default Ansible configuration file located in / etc. / Ansible, and then / Ansible.cfg. So this is the lab environment that I'm using. This is my machine. So this is the machine that I'm going to use to deploy and install the Ansible engine. So basically, we have something called Playbook. Basically, Playbook are basically the YAML file that hold the tasks which are going to be executed on the target servers. These going to be my two target servers, Web Server 1 and Web Server 2. This environment is going to be on my VmWare Workstation. They are both CentOS 7 with an IP address. I'm connected with networking, and we have something also called inventory, as I mentioned before. So inventory are basically the files such as hosts, and this file going to have hold the information of the target servers, such as their private IP addresses or the DNS. So here is my Ansible controller. I'm going to install Ansible here. Then I'm going to create my playbook on this CentOS machine. Then I'm going with with some Ansible commands. We're going to test our connection via SSH by controlling these web servers. And this is where basically comes the use of Ansible in IT automation. So from a single controller or single computer, I'm controlling two machines, and this could be also up to hundreds or thousands of servers on in the environment. And by using Ansible, you are just saving a lot of time and avoiding errors and repetitive tasks when using Ansible to configure hundreds of, let's say, servers that you have in your infrastructure by just using a Playbook or basic just commands to test and check everything. So first step I'm going to do is I'm going to update the machine by running command yum space update, and then with dash y. This will take a few minutes. So next I want to make sure that the Apple repo is on my machine by running command yum uninstall apple-release. So my package is already installed. Now I'm going to install Ansible, yum uninstall Ansible space dash y. So now the installation is successfully completed. So to make sure to double check that the Ansible is on my machine, I'm going to check the version of Ansible. So Ansible space dash dash and version. So this is Ansible 2.9.9. So next I'm going to change a few settings in the Ansible configuration file. So let me write the command vi for text editor / etc / Ansible. So this is the path name / Ansible cfg. This is the configuration file for the Ansible. Hit on I to insert. So here's some basic default values. We see that the inventory, this is the path for the inventory. As we said, the inventory is basically hold the information for the target host. This is called the inventory. I'm going to uncommand this and make it effective. And also, since I'm using password for SSH, I'm going to uncommand the following command. Let me check, it's somewhere in the file here. So it's going to be so we don't have to use the public and a private key if we uncommand this to make it false. So this is the one here. So we are going to uncommand this to disable SSH key host checking. So we don't need key here, because in this lab we're going to use the password. Obviously, if you do have key, you're going to use SSH-Cajun on your controller to make a private public key pair. Then you're going to copy the public key to your target servers, so to make it passwordless. But in this tutorial, I'm going to use the password and the root account. This is not saved, but it's just for to demonstrate basic configuration for the Ansible. So hit on escape, semicolon WQ for write and quit, and that's it. Now we can go to the Ansible configuration file directory by writing command cd change directory / d etc. Ansible, then hit on enter. Now we can list this directory and check the files inside. Now we see the Ansible's configuration, we see host, and we see the rules. We already configured our Ansible.cfg file. So the host is going to be our inventory. This is going to be the file, and I'm going to use the file editor vi and type in hosts, and this is the host configuration file. Now I'm going to add here a group, and this group going to be my, basically it's going to be my web servers. So Ansible, let's call it web servers. And now I'm going to provide the IP address for each server that I want to target. So 192.168.190.135 and also 168.90.134. So also I want to use the Ansible. So here is Ansible _SSH, then username equal, I'm going to use root, and also Ansible _SSH, then the password equal, that's going to be the actual password. So this is going to be the username and the password to SSH to these target servers, right? So escape, semicolon, WQ for write and quit. Now we already saved the configurations. So now it's time to test Ansible. So now I'm going to write commands in the command lines to push modules into the target servers and test the connections. So the command used for Ansible is Ansible itself, space, let's say I want the everything, so specify the group all, space, I'm going to do space -m for modules and type in ping. I'm going to ping the servers, web server 1 and 2, and check the connection. And here I see successful ping. So this is the web server and this is the other IP address, and it's successful. Let's say if you want to, you don't need both of them, you want to check the ping of one of them, so you can specify replace the all with 192.168.190.135, and we can hit enter and test. As you see, we are testing only this server. Now we can do something like Ansible and all, So for the both target servers, space A. This A specify a command. So basically it's like running command in these two web server, but instead we are going to use Ansible to run these commands on both of these remote servers from our controller or master server. So I'm going to say the command is going to be I want to list the root directory, and that should be very simple. And here we go. So we see for the IP address for this remote server, we see the list, and back to the second one, and we see also the list here. So next I want to download packages using Ansible command line and YAML. So basically I'm going to write this command to deploy links application, and this links application is basically the GUI web browsing on my both remote web servers. So I'm going to write command Ansible space, I'm going to write all space, and the module is going to be YAML, and this is the package manager, and it's going to be name. We're going to name the package that we want to uninstall elinks, space, and the state is going to be latest. So here in this command I'm using Ansible to have the module YAML. It's going to uninstall elinks, which is a GUI application for Linux, GUI browsing for both on my remote servers, and it's going to be the latest. So hit on enter and we check the progress. This may take few minutes. We see success on my first web server is 135, and I'm waiting for the second one. Okay, both of them are successful. So here we go. So I'm controlling from my master server, I'm controlling all the remote servers or the target servers from basically as simple as command. So I just imagine you have 1000 servers and you want to deploy this piece of application. Do you prefer to go on each 1000, each one of them, and write yum uninstall elinks, or you just from Ansible from one machine you just write this command and it's going to deploy to all servers at once? And that's where the benefits of Ansible. So here we see successful deployment of elinks application. All packages providing elinks are up to date on this host, and the second host we do have this one, and it's also all package providing elinks are up to date. Now let's go and test. Let's see if it's actually there on my remote servers. So now on my web server 1, and I want to check the application that I just deployed, which is elinks. So I'm going to write commands elinks space basically google.ca, and here we go. We see the GUI web browsing, and this is the Google search engine. Hit Ctrl+C to exit. So now I'm back to my master server. Next, since we saw everything here, next what I want to do, I'm going to actually use a Playbook. So the Playbook are basically going to be basically a YAML file. I'm going to put it in the Ansible directory, and we're going to specify the tasks that we are looking for to deploy on these servers. So here in this step, I'm creating a YAML file using Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to write this basic file, and then I'm going to copy and paste into my Ansible directory on my master server. So in this YAML code, I'm going to try to write down tasks. Number one, to install Apache server. Second, to start the Apache server on the target servers. And finally, I want to create a basic index.html file in the document root for the Apache service for both to serve both target servers. So I'm going to start by 3 dashes to declare that it's a YAML file. Then I'm going to say dash name, and this is going to be the name of my YAML file. So I'm going to write httpd book. So this is the name of my playbook. Now next, underneath, make sure this file is sensitive to indentation. So underneath name, it's going to be hosts. Hosts are basically the group name, wherever you named the group. So I named them web servers. And if you remember, the host file in under the Ansible directory, this is the group you created. Next, I want to type in remote. So it's going to be remote underscore user, and this is going to be the user here. It's going to be root become. So this is going to be true. This is going to be to basically escalate for privilege escalation. Connection type, we are using SSH. So we want to gather some information about the system. Gather facts. Yes. Now starting with my tasks. So tasks. So here I want to name my I'm going to basically name my first task. So name. And here install httpd server on target servers, right? So this is going to use the yum module. Since it's CentOS, we are using yum. If you're using another system like Ubuntu, you're using ut. So the name. So the name here is going to be httpd. This is the package name, right? And we do have the state. This is the version. I want to choose the latest. So next, I want to create another task. And the name is going to be start httpd service on target servers, and we're going to use service, and here I'm using name. The name is going to be httpd, the package name, and the state obviously is going to be started, to start the HTTP server. And I want to also use another, it's going to be another tasks. So here I want to create a basic index .html file in the Apache root directory. I'm going to use copy It's going to be content. So content, and here is going to be this. I'm going to write simple text. This is techno config test page, and I'm going to specify the destination for this content, for the copy of this content, and it's going to be /var www html /index .html to make this as the destination for this content to be copied. And that should be it. Now I'm going to copy this and I'm going to open a file in the Ansible and copy this and paste it. So here I'm inside the Ansible main directory. So I'm going to use vi file editor, and I'm going to say http ht. So I'm going to call it httpd _book.yaml, and hit on I to insert to start. And I'm going to paste it here. So this is the file, escape, shift semicolon, WQ to quit, save and quit. So if now I list the files, I see the YAML file here, and this is basically going to be my playbook. So basically I'm going to use this file as a playbook whenever I want HTTP Apache server to be installed. I'm going to use this file to deploy HTTPD service on my remote servers. And then next I want to use the command to use this playbook. So we're going to write Ansible dash playbook, and then you're going to basically type in the name of the file, so httpd _book .yaml, and that's basically it. After that I'm going to hit enter. So now it's gathering the facts about the remote servers. So both of them are, we see the task is okay. Now installing HTTP server on the target servers. And this is the first task that we have. We see some changes in both remote servers, and that's it. So here it successfully deployed the Apache server on the remote server. So we see first play task, gathering facts about both machines, both remote machines. Then we see the first task that I already declared in my YAML file, which is going to be install HTTP server on the target servers. So we see some changes, means that it's already installed. Then the second one was start the service. Here we see this change happened. And finally we see creation of basic index.html file, and we see on both of them changed. And we see here change equal 3 means it changed. So now let's say I want to play now the same playbook on the same servers, and let's see the difference here. It's going to gather the facts, the tasks, everything says okay. So now we see the difference. Now we see change before. 3 changes mean it's already installed, create everything we're looking for in the YAML of the playbook. However, on the second time when I run the same playbook, we see that nothing happened since the configuration was already up to date and everything was already configured. So the Ansible will not change anything. It just basically gave you the OK message. And that should basically it by using Playbook. So now I can start to check the HTTP installation and configuration on web server 1 by running command system CTL on my remote or target servers, just to check. So systemctl status HTTPD, and here is active on my web server 1. And this is the second target server, it's web server 2. Let me run the same command, systemctl status and HTTPD, and it's also active here. So I want to also check from my browser. Let me check the web server. So it's going to be 192.168.190.135. Let's check this server, and it's up and running, and we see the basic index.html file here, and this is the basic content that we copied to the index file. This is technoconfig test page to make sure that the Apache web server is up. And that should basically it. That's it for this tutorial. Obviously Ansible has a lot of configuration. I used it today with to automate Linux servers. You can also automate some routers and switches, Cisco routers and switches with Ansible. Also Windows servers. It can be installed on many platforms. It's a free open source application, and also it has a very good documentation. I'm going to provide the documentation in the link of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.